Next game is a shootout. The Lions beat the Chargers 41-38. Jared Goff was 23-33, 333 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He also had 3 carries for -2. He's going to put up points. Like I kept saying in the previous videos, he's going to be up there with CJ Stroud as far as quarterbacks who, have a fairly low floor, but their upside is really high. So keep playing Jared Goff if you got him, unless you just have, a super quarterback in front of him like a Josh Allen or a Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, one of those guys. David Montgomery, 12 carries, 116 yards, and a touchdown. Amazing stuff. And Jahmyr Gibbs also had 14 carries for 77 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. It's looking like both of these guys can be viable fantasy running backs every single week. Start him. I mean, this offense can put up points. This offensive line is really good and can block for these running backs. We saw it last year when Jamal Williams led the league in rushing touchdowns. That looks insane now with the little output that he's putting out for the Saints. So keep playing both of these guys. David Montgomery is not going to go away. Jahmyr Gibbs, even though Montgomery is back, still had an amazing day. These guys are both very dependable fantasy running backs rest of the season. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 2 carries for 9, and Jared Goff just had the 3 carries for -2. St. Brown was outstanding. 8 catches, 156 yards, and a touchdown. He's from LA, so I knew coming back to LA, he was going to have a huge game. Jared Goff used to be a Ram, him going back to LA too. This was a great matchup for both of those guys. So if you had St. Brown on your team, congratulations. This was huge. Khalif Raymond had 2 catches for 46 yards. Sam LaPorta, 4 catches for 40 yards. This is okay for a tight end, but he's kind of coming back down to earth a little bit after the super hot start. But I still think he's an every week play at tight end. Jahmyr Gibbs had 3 catches for 35 yards. I wonder if his receiving role is going to stay like this as long as they're playing both of these backs. Brock Wright, 2 catches for 23 yards and a touchdown. Back to Jahmyr Gibbs. David Montgomery didn't have any receiving output in this game, so if they're using Jahmyr Gibbs like this, that's just going to add to his value even more. So just adding more fuel to having both of these running backs start every single week. Jameson Williams, 2 catches for 18 yards on 2 targets. He is a very safe drop. And Josh Reynolds had 2 catches for 15 yards on 4 targets. For the Chargers, Justin Herbert had a great day throwing the ball. 27-40, 324 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. He also had 4 carries for 15 yards. Another guy, play him every single week. He's a step above CJ Stroud, a step above Jared Goff. If you have Jalen Hurts, I get not playing Justin Herbert. If you have Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert on your team is loaded at quarterback. You should probably trade one of them, but Justin Herbert is up there for sure. Top 5 quarterback in the league. Austin Ekeler, 19 carries, 67 yards and a touchdown. He also had 4 catches for 48 yards. Another guy, play him every single week. Don't worry about the matchup. Joshua Kelley had 5 carries for 16 yards, spelling Austin Ekeler there. Interesting that he just had that one game where he just totally went off, and then he just hasn't been the same since. Keenan Allen, 11 catches, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, 14 targets. He is an elite receiver. Another guy, play him every week. Don't worry about the matchup because he is absolutely on fire this year. Jalen Guyton had 4 catches for 41 yards and a touchdown. If Keenan Allen gets hurt, and he has a history of injuries, definitely keep an eye on Guyton and keep an eye on Quentin Johnston. 4 catches for 34 yards and a touchdown. Interesting that Johnston was below Guyton in targets. But I still think Johnston's going to have more upside just because of that draft spot they had him in. Johnston has more athletic ability, more size. That's going to be what you want as far as projecting a receiver to develop into something special. So I think they want to keep feeding Johnston, but having Guyton out-target him is definitely something to keep an eye on if something were to happen to Allen. Donald Parham just had the 2 catches for 18 yards. I think he's a safe drop. Darius Davis, the returner, had 2 catches for 7. Gerald Everett did not haul in either of his targets. That's really surprising. I think he is a safe drop. And Stone Smart had 3 targets and did not haul in any of them.